there, it's Amy from crazybeautiful.com, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm going to show you a card today that's kind of like a pegboard. It's going to be for Father's Day, so hopefully you'll have enough time to order your supplies and make this card for your dad or grandfather or husband. I'm going to start with the hardwood background stamp and ink it up. My card base here is one of the note cards and envelopes from the catalog. You can just order it like this. It's 3.5 by 5. It comes in a pack of 20 with the envelopes, but we're not going to use the envelope that matches because we're going to actually make this into an easel card also. So we are doing a lot of things today that I don't normally do on my blog. So I hope this goes well. I'm inking that up with soft suede, and I'm going to first just stamp the background so that I can have a hint of the wood grain on my card base, but you won't see a whole lot of it on there. I just threw that piece of paper on so that I didn't get my fingers all colored because I end up making a huge mess that way. So ink it up again. I just cut some strips off of a card base that I had. This is 4 1/4 by 3/4. So if you have, I typically have a bunch of card bases pre-cut in different colors set aside. So I just cut 2 strips off of here that were each 3/4 of an inch wide. And I'm just gonna lay that on there. I could probably do them both at the same time, but I will just do one at a time. So lay that on there, ink it up. We just want the look of wood planks. Okay, and then get that out of the way. You can rinse that off and set it to dry. Then I'm gonna grab my paper piercing mat. Now, these here are going to be our card base, and I'm just gonna set those aside and bring in a piece that will basically mat onto our other piece. It's about 3 by 4 3/4. And I'm going to paper pierce a grid onto this. Now you'll see this is, my name's on there. You can use any of the spacing, any of the dot spacing that you would like. I usually kind of line it up with one of the pre-printed marks and kind of just get your dots centered on there. And I'm just going to punch every other one. So in a grid pattern, go ahead and punch every other one, and then you'll see I'm just going to slide it down and cover this entire piece with holes. It's a bit tedious, so you may not want to make 20 cards in this design, but I think it's kind of a fun thing for Dad. Okay, so once you're done with that, you're actually going to flip it over, and we're going to use that back side. So it actually kind of looks a little bit more rough and rugged like an actual pegboard. So that's kind of cool. So let's put this card together. We're just going to open all of our pieces up. You're going to put adhesive on just the length of the card like that. So I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing, but make sure you put the snail on the same side because we flipped it over. It's over here now. So I'm just using that card as a bit of a guide. Ultimately, I want my card to measure 5 1/2 wide because that's my envelope size, and these strips are 4 1/4. So I'm just going to use my grid paper. You can also use like another card, but it's about halfway. So let me bring that back in now. a little over halfway there. So it doesn't have to be super exact, but what you can do is if you already have another card, you can just go ahead and do that. We're just gonna add the adhesive here on the one side. Make sure you stay on that side. And then just using that other card as a kind of sample for the size of your card. I hope that makes sense. So go ahead and fold those down, and you might want to just tweak this a little bit and make sure it's flush at the edge before you glue it down. So there we go. That's kind of the base of our easel. And then this is going to pop up on here, but I'm going to stamp "You're the Best, Dad," and I'm going to use my Night of Navy and Marina Mist. So first of all, we're using this stamp set, Friendly Wishes. It's one of my new sets, and it's been great so far. So I'm going to ink it up completely, but then I'm going to just take a strip of washi tape and cover that top part. You want to make sure it's long enough to adhere a little bit to the wood so that it stays in place, and then go ahead and stamp it. Since I want my "You're the" in one color and my "Best" in another, and I don't want to mess with markers right now, that's the route that I went. You're going to take your framelit from, I'm using the word bubbles, but you could use whatever shape framelit that you would like to cut that out. And then I'm going to switch over to my Marina Mist. Clean off your stamp real quick so that we can use it in a different color. And I'm just going to ink up the top half like that. And grab another strip of washi tape to cover up the bottom. I just feel like you get a better stamped image with the ink pad, so that's the route we're going with. I'm going to fussy cut this, and then the banner punch, the little banner punch, I just like to stick this in the top so this side won't be cut, just that side will be cut, and punch the little banners. And this is small enough that I can kind of keep the banner in the direction that I want it in and make it a little banner. So I'm going to add those to my card here. This will go on with dimensionals. I'm going to grab my brad, little tiny brads. These are just the 1/8 inch mini brads, and I'm going to glue these pieces on, and then from the back I'm going to kind of look where they're at and push the brads through as if we're kind of using this as like a pegboard. One of the two brads is longer, so I'm trying to keep the longer one on top so that it just looks like there's one brad. So there's my little my little embellishments. So that's what I meant to do. I'm going to add a couple more things and a couple more brads here, and then show you my finished card. So here's my finished card. I stamped Dad with my rotary alphabet and punched it out with the word window. And then I used the same trick that I did with the banner punch, and I slid the end in and just punched it to make a smaller elongated oval like that. So I hope that you like this. Hope you try it on your own. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day. Bye.